common question is how often you need to get your hair cut or trimmed to maintain the health. So I'm against the 6 to 8 week rule, and this is why. It really depends on the type of hair that you have and what you're trying to do with it. So if you're trying to grow out your hair and you have relatively healthy hair, you don't need to get your hair cut every 6 to 8 weeks because that doesn't make any sense at all. How are you supposed to be growing out your hair when you're going to go in and get it cut every time it grows out? Generally, hair grows about ½ an inch per month, but for some people it actually may not be growing that fast. I find generally that people with thicker hair and coarser hair or medium texture hair, so very strong hairs, tend to have a higher growth. So your hair is probably going to be growing faster than somebody with finer hair. Generally, I find people with fine hair, myself included, our hair doesn't grow very fast. So imagine I'm trying to grow out my hair and I'm going to go in and get it cut every 6 to 8 weeks. How is that going to be helpful? It doesn't make any sense. If you have a short cut or a pixie cut or a very blunt bob, then you definitely need to go in and see your stylist every so often. You know, it depends. If your hair is really thick and maybe it's coarser, but you're trying to maintain that clean cut bob, then you definitely need to see your stylist a lot more often than somebody who's trying to grow out her hair. This is what it comes down to. It really depends what you want to do with your hair and the quality of your hair. For somebody who has split ends and damage versus somebody who has really healthy hair with zero or minimal damage, where it's healthy, there's no split ends, don't use any hot tools, the person with the healthier hair is not going to need to see their stylist very often as much as somebody with damaged hair. So say if you have damaged hair and it's long, but you're trying to keep the length, then you definitely need to go in and get it cut every so often. Now here's the thing, what is the magic number for when you do need to go in and see your stylist? My suggestion is always to put it in your calendar when you go in to see your stylist for a trim or a cut. And then what you want to do is kind of monitor your hair over the next few weeks. So monitor your hair after 1 week after the cut, 2 weeks after the cut, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and so on. And then see at what point does your hair start to feel a little bit weird. Is it starting to feel poofy on the ends? Is it starting to feel frizzy? Is it starting to get really unmanageable and thick? Some people need to go in to get their hair thinned out every so often, so maybe you don't need a trim, but you need to get a lot of thinning taken out, a lot of the bulk taken out, and a lot of times we have a lot thicker hair in the back of our heads and in the top of our heads. That's just the way nature intended for that to happen. So if you can monitor your hair over a few weeks, then when you go back in to see your stylist next time, let them know. Let them know, look, this is how my hair looked during the first week after the haircut. This is how it looked after, like 2 weeks after, and this is what it looks like now. So it really is very individual, and I think the 6 to 8 week myth is something that the industry came up with so that they keep you coming back into the chair more often, and that means more money for the salon. So I want you to really take control of your own beauty and your own needs and what your hair needs. I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know that it is not wrong if you don't get your hair cut every 6 to 8 weeks. It's totally fine and it's totally okay. I'm giving you permission to go longer. And if you are trying to grow out your hair and you don't want to get any length taken off, there is a service called dusting. Dusting is basically where we just take off some of the split ends only on the outside, because there's only so many split ends that you can cut off when you go in to see your stylist. And if you are a low maintenance gal and you don't want to go into the salon so often, treatments are your best friend. You want to keep the longer hairs in good condition. So definitely treatments are great, masks are great. The more you take care of your hair, the longer you can go without seeing your stylist. I hope this video helped you guys to answer this very popular question. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them in, below. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Lina's Makeup.